Welcome to Reef Diary, day 117. So the past few days, the tank has really been in a very good spot, and there's really been almost nothing for me to do specifically. I did re-thread part of the center of the screen of the algae turf scrubber, and I checked on it today, and it looks good so far. I'm glad to get rid of all that pink goo, and I think that soon that'll be filled up with algae again. All the rest of the filtration, the protein skimmer, looks normal. There's carbon still filtering the water, and the calcium reactor continues to put an effluent into the tank, maintaining an alkalinity that's right now measuring about 9.3. At some point in the coming days or weeks, I would like to finish cleaning the sump. I did the skimmer section originally, and all the rest of it was not done, and I would really like to get everything nice and clean and shiny down there and make it look like new. But that's going to take some time, and I have not had the desire to do that at this time. I'm going to slowly pan across the reef here and kind of let you get a good look at everything. The one thing that I'm seeing everywhere I look is new growth. And that is exactly what I've been wanting to see, and it's so nice to see these changes happening. And while they're very small, they're very obvious to me. And I don't know if you can pick up on them as you're looking, but if you look specifically at the SPS, the top quarter inch either shows multiple branches happening, or it will show one little branch forming and about to pop out. The shadow caster is very obvious with lots of new bursts. I mean, there must be 20, 30 tips there. And one thing Dwayne was suggesting to me today when I spoke to him on the phone was to cut off one of those and put it inside the core to kind of really fill it in and make it more of a thicket, instead of having a bunch of new growth on the end of those long branches. I was telling him how there really isn't anything for me to do with the tanks, so what on earth could I talk about during the Reef Diary? And he said sometimes we spend days and days working on it nonstop, and then finally we get to that point where we don't have to do anything and we just leave it alone. So that is what I'm going through right now, is a period of days where I don't have to do anything but just clean the glass and feed the fish. And, so I'm playing with my magnified viewer here, looking at things up close, just to give myself a little bit of personal entertainment and, also to get a good look. Because the only way I can see these things is either take my glasses off or take out the camera with a macro lens and take pictures and then put them on a monitor. But that magnifier really is handy. Looking at all the bright, vivid colors in my tank now, it's kind of hard to believe that 6 to 9 months ago, I just couldn't find any color in my tank at all. Everything was blah and bland and boring, with some, some decent looking things here and there. But it is really going to turn into something amazing here in the next 9 months. The sea bay anemone looked really good about 30 minutes or an hour earlier. The mouth looked normal, the tentacles were out, the foot was well planted, and of course then when I wanted to show it to you, it looked worse again. So it is still being moody or still in recovery. Thus, we shall look at other things in the tank since we don't have the anemone to look at. The Framer corals are looking good. And those little babies I mentioned a few diaries ago, they're a little bit more visible today. Right there. So those will grow into large polyps. I'm glad that I chose to plant some pretty colorful corals in the back of the reef as well, instead of just putting all the best stuff in the front, because that way I can go to the back and enjoy them, just like I can enjoy stuff from the front of the tank that you so often see on the videos. After all, the tank is visible from both sides, so I might as well make it look nice from both sides. As I mentioned before, kind of briefly, a lot of times we tinker with our tanks a lot, and sometimes we tinker with them too much. So if you are at the point where everything is going well in the tank, that's the perfect time to keep your hands out of the water as much as possible. Look at all the fish, they're everywhere. Kind of a perk to having the sea bay small right now. I get to see a whole bunch of activity. Anyway, the point is that enjoy your reef and keep your hands out and just make sure your water quality is staying on track and that all the equipment is running properly. And if everything is doing fine in that regard, then everything can just start growing. And you'll actually see a lot of improvement in your tank if you can follow that example. I wanted to share some video with the deep sea magnified viewer And, you know, because yesterday I did some pictures, but now you can kind of see the action. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I keep moving it around and looking at things. There is a focal distance, so the corals toward the back are going to be out of focus. But things that are closer to the front really get that great magnification. And I can stand back or I can move closer. And I like how it holds on magnetically to the glass, which kind of lets me freehand what I'm trying to do and not have to basically hold it in place the whole time. It's kind of neat to spotlight things. Kind of a weird effect, but I thought it looked kind of neat on video. Take a look at this next one. It almost looks like it's not in the reef at all because of the way the light hits it and the way it kind of isolates itself with the magnification. But it was really cool. And then getting a good look at some of these corals is also fun to do. And then finally, we'll look at the chalice that has that white spot. It's kind of glowy right there, but eventually that'll be completely colored up like the rest of the colony has already done. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's relaxing, easygoing video. And I'll see you again tomorrow with another Reef Diary. Bye.